Hi guys, welcome to What's Cooking Kenya, where we show you how to make the most awesome meals with ingredients that you can find in your supermarket. So if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, we appreciate you, we love you so much, thank you. Mwah, 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 mwah. So today we're going to be making a cake that gives people a lot of headache. We're going to be making a red velvet cake. I know it's almost Valentine's and this is the cake that everybody will be asking for. So today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make the most perfect, the most delicious, the most original red velvet cake. So for the red velvet cake, you'll need some ingredients that are really easy to find. You'll need some eggs, we'll need 4 eggs. You'll need some milk. You'll need some corn flour, which is available in the supermarket. You'll need some margarine, some cocoa, not drinking chocolate, red food coloring, baking soda, baking powder, vanilla essence, white vinegar, which is readily available in the supermarket. And then we'll also need some sugar, some all-purpose flour, and we're also going to make buttercream icing. So to make the buttercream icing, you'll need some margarine, you'll also need some icing sugar, you'll need some vanilla essence, and a bit of milk. So to start making the red velvet cake, the first thing you need to do is preheat your oven. This is because this process doesn't take a very long time, and once the butter is ready, you need to put it like immediately into the oven. So the first thing, preheat your oven at 180 degrees. The next thing you need to do is you need to prepare your baking tin. You can use a sufuria if you don't have a baking tin, but since I have a baking tin, this is what I'm going to use. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to butter this baking tin. So you can use a pastry brush or you can use your hands to butter it. So just take a bit of margarine and then you butter it. So you make sure you butter the bottom and then you come to the sides, then you butter the sides. So you can do all this with your hands, but you really need to make sure that you really get the sides all round, so that when your cake is in the tin, it doesn't get stuck. So you can see I've buttered everywhere. Again, don't put too much margarine, just enough. The next thing you need to do is to dust your pan. So to dust your pan, you put some bit of flour into the baking tin and then you roll it around so that it coats the bottom, and then on the sides you give it a nice coating. You give it a nice coating on the sides. You can see what I'm doing. So you give it a nice coating on the side. So you can see our tin is ready. So that will make sure that the cake does not stick. The next thing that we need to do is that we need to measure and sift our flour. We need 2 cups of all-purpose flour and half a cup of corn flour. So the corn flour makes the cake have a very nice texture. So the first thing we do, as I always say, sift your dry ingredients. So we are measuring and then you also even it out. That is 1 cup. Make sure whenever you're measuring, you're leveling the unga. We don't want it that's 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and we'll also need half a cup. So this is half a cup measurement. So that is half a cup of corn flour. So we sift it in. And then the next thing we are going to add is 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So the baking powder is here. Then teaspoon, use this measuring teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon is equals to 5 grams. So we're going to be using this. So we need 1.5. So that is 1. And then half is 2.5 grams, which is this one. So that is 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So we sieve it in. And then the other ingredient that we're going to measure is the cocoa powder. So for cocoa powder, you need 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So the tablespoon measurement is here, it's 15 grams. So you measure 2 tablespoons. All these things that I'm using to measure, you can find them in the supermarket. They go for between 400 and 600 bob. So we've sifted our dry ingredients. We are going to turn our milk. This is whole milk, but what we need for this cake is actually buttermilk. So we're going to make it go bad. Make it go bad by putting 1 teaspoon of vinegar, and then you wait for 5 minutes for it to curdle. So if you have milk in your kitchen that has already gone bad, at times I find that in my kitchen somebody forgets to put the milk back into the fridge. So that milk, instead of throwing it away, you can actually make this cake. So we are making our milk spoiled on purpose. Tunagandisha maziwa on purpose. Yes. Because of this, we want it actually to ganda. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to cream our margarine and our sugar. So the first thing, you put your margarine into your bowl, and then you beat it for a few minutes before adding the sugar. So now we cream our margarine. So again, if you don't have a mixer, you can always use the old-fashioned whisker. So we're going to measure in here. We're going to put 1.5 cups of sugar. So that's 1 cup of sugar. So you just go. buttermilk is ready. You can see it has curdled up, so it's ready. We are successful in this process of spoiling our milk. So the next thing we need to do, you add the red food color to the buttermilk. We'll use 1 teaspoon of red food color. So you just dissolve it in there. And then after beating our margarine and sugar, you can see now it has become light and fluffy. That's the texture we wanted. We've beat it for about 7 minutes continuously. So you start adding the vanilla essence. 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. So you beat it in. And then after that, you start adding the egg one at a time. Then you scrape the sides to make sure the egg is fully incorporated into your mixture. Then you add the other egg. So we've added all our eggs into the mixture. The next thing, we are going to put our flour. We're going to put it in 3 portions. So that's a third of our flour. And then we mix it in. We add half of the buttermilk. So the trick is you need to start and end with the flour. So that's why we are doing 3 portions of flour and 2 portions of the buttermilk. Remember, our oven is still preheating at 180 degrees. So once the buttermilk is incorporated, then we are going to add more flour. So one misconception people have about a red velvet cake, people think that it is a red vanilla cake. No, it's not a red vanilla cake. And actually it's not supposed to be red, it's supposed to be maroonish because you are adding the cocoa. And again, I'll show you the final step is very sensitive. Adding the baking soda to the vinegar, that's the last step, and it will give it another texture that makes it a red velvet cake. So after we've added our flour, then we add the final buttermilk. Process process you cannot do it with a mixer. You need to use your spatula or your mwiko, because you don't want to lose all the nice air that you made into this mixture when you creamed the mixture. So we add the third portion. You can see we started with the flour and we ended with the flour. That's the process you do. Whenever this cake, we are making it with the creaming method. So whenever you're making a cake with creaming method, that is how you incorporate your flour. You always start with the flour, then the liquid, then you end with the flour. The fruit cake that we made it using the boiling or the melting method. So this is another method that I've shown you. It is called creaming method. So we are done mixing the flour into our butter. So the next thing that really makes this a red velvet cake is you have to measure 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon is 5 grams. So you measure 1 teaspoon of vinegar. You put it in a clean bowl, clean dry bowl. And then you take half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon is 2.5 grams of baking soda. So you level it and then you put it here. You're going to see it sizzle, and then you make sure that immediately it does that. You put it into your butter, and then you incorporate it into your butter, and then immediately you put it into your tin and into the oven. This is a very crucial process for the red velvet cake, and you need to do it very, very fast. So here we go. So you can see it sizzling. So the minute it sizzles, you pour it into your butter, and then you incorporate it very fast. This will give us that red velvet nice texture. So we've incorporated it into all our butter. Then we pour out our butter into the baking tin. So once you put it into the baking tin, you tap your baking tin so that you remove any air bubbles that are there. And then you put it, you can see an air bubble is coming up here. That's what we are removing. And then you immediately put it into your oven, the middle rack, and you wait for 45 minutes for it to bake. After 45 minutes, we check on our cake to see if it's ready. So just remove it, and then you poke. I showed you about this. You take a skewer and then you poke the cake. If it comes out clean, then the cake is ready. So you can see our skewer is clean, so the cake is ready. You remove it, and then you let it sit for 5 minutes, and then you run a knife around it, and then you put it on a plate so that it doesn't stick. So it's been 5 minutes, so we run our knife around the tin like that so that it comes out easily, and then you take your plate, and then you hold it, then you turn it, then it comes out. Wow! So it didn't stick anywhere. So you can see our lovely red velvet cake is ready and ready for decoration. So you let it cool for at least 2 hours before you decorate it, because if we try to decorate it here, then the icing is going to melt. So we're going to let it cool for 2 hours. So now I'm going to show you how to make buttercream icing for our red velvet cake that is ready and cooling. So we're going to need 100 grams of butter or margarine. I'm using margarine. We're also going to use 1 1/4 cups of icing sugar. We're going to need 1 tablespoon of milk and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So to make our butter icing, you just put the 100 grams of butter here. I'm not making a lot of buttercream icing because I want it to have that semi-naked feel to it. But if you want to make like a lot of butter icing, then you can just double this recipe. So you put your butter margarine here, and then now you just beat it a bit. So you just bring it together. So we now sieve in our icing. We want a smooth texture to our buttercream icing, so that's why we are sieving in our icing sugar. So you make sure you put a full cup. Make sure you just weigh a full cup of icing. You can see the way the icing has a lot of lumps, so if you skip this process, then your icing, your buttercream is not going to have that nice texture that you're looking for. So make sure you always sieve your icing sugar. After you've sieved in your icing, you add 1 tablespoon of milk. If you don't take milk, then you can add water. We also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can actually put any other extract that you have. And then now you continue beating. If you don't have a mixer, you can always use your whipper. Our cake has cooled. We've put it for at least 2 hours for it to cool. So the next step, I'm going to cut it into 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my knife and then just run it around. You can see I'm not cutting through it, I'm just making a line. And then where the other line and the other one meet, now that's when you start cutting through. So we've cut it into half. You can look at it, you can see how beautiful it is looking inside. Don't you just love that red color? And trust me, it is as yummy as it looks. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to apply the buttercream that we made. So here I've added the red color that we used. I've just taken a bit of the buttercream and then I'll mix it here. So that one is ready. And then I'll take the buttercream that we made earlier. Then I'm going to spread it at the center. So in this Valentine season, if you have bay, you can make this cake. You can see how easy it is to make and how cost efficient it is to make this cake. So I've applied cream, and then you can apply as much or as little as you like. So I'm just going to put the other layer on top. So I've put the other layer on top, and then I can apply a bit of cream on top here. So I'm going for that semi-decadent feel. So the next thing, I have a piping bag here, but if you don't have a piping bag, you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to add this colored cream. I've put my cream in there, that I had colored red, and then I'm going to fasten it a bit so that when I'm piping, it comes out a nice shape. So just pipe, you lift, you pipe, you lift, pipe, you lift, pipe, lift. You can turn it. I advocate making buttercream at home because what you find is that with these cakes, okay, let me share with you a secret, although I'm not supposed to tell you. The cakes that you normally buy, like in the supermarket, yeah, or in town, what they do is that their buttercream, they add shortening, which is very unhealthy. So you can see this one, we just used margarine, which you normally eat. So I advocate for people learning how to bake and learning how to make their buttercream at home so that they can have a healthier cake. You know, when people are doing business, they do all sorts of shortcuts that we don't know about. So you might find the cake is tasting really nice, but you don't know what the person has put there. So we're just piping. So because we're in the Valentine season, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a rough figure for a love heart, just in between here, in the middle of the cake. And then I'll come with my icing and pipe around the figure, so that I have an outline to follow. So our cake is ready. I know so many of you are anxious to see how it looks inside and to also have a taste. So you just cut into it. So our cake is served. So I have a few people here to taste and tell us how it is. So you can go ahead. Let's get into some. I can't wait to take it.
Me. And red velvet.
Your friends.
She's babe.
I love the colors.
It's moist and nice.
It's moist. Wow.
It's very moist. A lot of the red velvet I've eaten commercially. I didn't enjoy them. They were, hard and dry. This I could have any day. anytime. And then of course I'm going to take moringa just to make sure I don't pack in some kilos.
I think it's yummy. It's yummy and moist.
So will you try the recipe? You've seen how easy it is. And all the ingredients you can find from the supermarket.
Yes, you can. Which is somebody wants to order. If they
Yeah.
don't have time, how do they reach you?
No, okay, if you want to order, then you can go to my Facebook page, House of Chloe Cakes and Pastries. Then you can find my contacts there. Yes, you can still order the cake.
Wow.
What
Better
packages do you have?
still.
For 1 kg, I normally sell it for 2,000. If it's 1.5 kilos, it's 3,000. 2 kgs, it's 4,000. Just goes like that.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, but normally when I sell it, I also add a bit of cream cheese to the frosting. Yeah, it just brings it to another level. Yeah.
So yummy.
Thank you.
Alternatively, we can move in.
You're welcome. You're
You have an
welcome.
extra room.
Yes, I have 2 extra rooms, so you can move in. You're welcome. Anybody else who wants to come into my house, you can just move in.
It's so yummy, baby.
Thank you. See you, daughter.
Great.
See, Georgia.
You
You
okay?
okay?
Daughter? Iko sawa?
Very moist. very
Nifunge macho,
Funga
nifunge.
macho tupite na hii.
Oh, nimefunga macho baby.
Tupite.
We go split.